When you first heard about this whole immigration ban, talk to me a little bit about like, did you kind of understand it? Like, what was your first thoughts about it when you heard it? Did you kind of understand it and like how it might affect, I guess, either you or your family?
Well, it's very confusing to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
The day I tweeted
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that tweet
Mm-hmm.
was I was quoting like I was subtweeting an article I think that
Mm-hmm.
said the Trump visa ban also applies to citizens with dual nationality,
Right.
and that basically then I just immediately got worried.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, oh damn, now now what does this mean? Like, so I was very confused. I didn't really know what was going on. But as the day went by, I saw a lot of new information was coming out.
Right.
Like certain countries were being exempt from this, especially around Europe, probably
Right.
because of their relations to US or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, there are a lot of stories about people being deported left and right, and so a lot of confusion. I didn't really know what to think.
So I guess for all, according to the to the this executive order, and if we follow it, to the letter, someone like yourself can't enter the United States. What does this mean for you as far as travel to the U.S.? This seriously affects your plans, I would assume.
I don't know yet. Maybe I'll try to. Hopefully, they'll do some new stuff, make some new law, or
Right,
whatever, and
right.
then you can suddenly go. But for now, I'm not sure. But so yeah, it affects a lot of the travel for sure.
Like it's a 90-day travel ban, right? But we actually don't even know like what the result is after that. They could actually just come back and say, okay, you know what? We're just going to keep this ban or we're going to keep things the way they are for like an indefinite period or for however long, right? Like if they extended this and say you couldn't even travel to the US for all of 2017, how would you feel if you couldn't even do that because of this travel ban?
It wouldn't be a good feeling,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, because I'm missing out on a lot of potential big tournaments where you
Right.
can make a lot of money and different things.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think as long as it looks now, people are protesting really hard.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they will be able to like there will be pressure to a point where I don't think they can keep it longer than 90 days. But who knows?
Sure.
Maybe they don't care and then they just make it indefinite.
Right.
But if they do it like that, then that won't be good. Probably like CBT then will be over for me. But I will probably go to different Asian tournaments or
Right.
something just for the experience.
Obviously you could still travel in
Yeah,
Europe and Asia, but I mean every a player like yourself, the end goal is of course to get to Capcom Cup, right? Like
exactly.
and even
Yeah,
Evo. I mean Evo's, still a big
yeah,
deal.
yeah.
And not being able to travel to those events I think it would be a shame. I guess maybe going back to a little like Street Fighter related. What do you think were some realistic I guess goals or expectations for 2017?
I want like you always want to like the highest goal you have is to win everything you enter.
Right.
But for me, it was more about like trying to see how the meta evolves in
Mhm.
tournament play
Mhm.
throughout the months. See how I enjoy the game. To be honest, I don't really enjoy it any more than I did enjoy season one, which
Right.
wasn't that much.
Mhm.
So it's hard to say. But I think I could have done just as well, if not better.
Mhm. Are
And I still like I think I can still go to tournaments, obviously.
So season two came out. Obviously, changes a lot of changes with different characters. You started out playing some Bison and then Kali. Who are you
Mhm.
playing right now?
I'm still playing Nekali.
Okay.
He's still pretty good. I also I've been practicing Guile, just like because
It's a good pocket
he's
character to have.
oh yeah for like he's really good right now.
Yeah.
Definitely like super good.
Yeah.
So quite not that hard to learn, not that hard to play either. So been practicing him, and obviously like I have a Bison as well.
Do you
Don't
do you
really
think
play
he's
it.
as good as like people were saying because of like some of his changes? Bison, that is.
He's definitely got better.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, like I suddenly read from some people that they think like Nemo thinks he's top five, which I don't really agree with. If anything, in the long run, he will definitely not be top five, but he might be top 10.
Ultra Dave was like, yeah, Bison got better, but
Yeah,
some of the characters that he struggled with also either
yeah,
didn't get worse or they got better as well. Does that mean he's actually, like better overall in season two? Because like all of his tougher matchups either didn't get worse or also got better.
yeah. He's still like the matchups that were hard in season one are
Hmm.
still bad matchups.
Yeah.
Like Zangief. I think Cammy still beats him. I think Laura still beats him. Mika still beats him.
Hmm.
Some matchups are even-ish. Some matchups are slightly in the other character's favor, or
Right.
now maybe in Bison's favor.
Yeah.
So, but like he's not a bad character at all. But he's not what I would call a top five character.
You mentioned Nemo's
So
top five, and I mean, I respect what Nemo has to say, but it kind of makes me laugh because other people talked about it too. It's like he doesn't have Laura or Balrog in his top five, and I'm like, well, how many Japanese players are actually playing those characters? And I assume not many. I mean, Smug's Balrog is, I mean, he just destroyed Justin Wong and K Brad the other day, right? And
yeah,
we're seeing Laura like do a lot of a lot of work, and I'm just like, how do
yeah.
like, you gonna are there a Japanese player that even play these characters? Like I don't know about this top five.
Well, there's actually the Topanga, like
Yeah.
Tokido, I think Bonchan, Mago. Don't know if I don't remember. I think if I remember correctly, they put Haitani, Bonchan, Fudo. They put Rashid, Ibuki, Kami, Guile, Laura, top
Hmm.
five.
Hmm.
I think they're starting to realize that Laura is a
Yeah.
pretty good character.
Yeah.
And then Mago and Tokido put Balrog in top four, and Rashid and Ibuki. So Japan thinks Rashid and Ibuki is really strong, but they haven't Rashid and Ibuki in Europe and US haven't been put in any top five.
Right.
So it's kind of like all the regions have a different
Yeah,
opinion.
it's weird. Yeah, and
So
it's weird because like yeah, the different regions have sort of gravitated to like different characters too. Because
yeah,
like in the West, I know a lot of people played Laura, but I think like last year with season one, everyone was so focused on like Armika that they
yeah,
just kind of
oh yeah,
forgot that like Laura, like we see Will Tupac traveling all over, right? And he's like doing really well, but Laura's not a good character. Like, come on. Um,
yeah.
I did want to ask you also
Laura,
about Nikali though. Like,
yeah.
Nikali didn't really. I don't think Nikali was really hit too hard with the changes, but it also doesn't seem like people are really talking about him a lot, especially when we look at top five now. Everyone's like, "Oh, Urian, Guile,
Yeah.
Balrog, all these characters are top five now." Whereas maybe last year we kind of, I feel like we kind of considered, Nikali as like maybe a top five, top seven ish character, right? Like, has that changed much for him?
I think last year he was definitely top five.
Mm-hmm.
This year he has the potential to be top five,
Mm-hmm.
but at the moment he's probably at like yeah, right outside.
Yeah.
I would say between like six and seven, eight, somewhere. Because him, Karen, like you can say some Balrog as well. Those three are kind of like they're like some people put them in the top five.
Right.
Like some people put Nikali in the top five. Some people put Balrog in the last spot. Though, and they're like they can easily win a major tournament. They're more than good enough.
Yeah.
And the changes to Nikali weren't that much. He got obviously the biggest change was the no more invincible DP,
Mm-hmm.
the meterless
Mm-hmm.
DP,
Mm-hmm.
and anti-air jab is not as easy to use now. Still very good though.
Yeah, I feel like I get hit by it all the time still.
Yeah,
Like,
but you can get stuff more often,
right. Okay.
which is like
But
so.
it's
So
more
it's not.
about what's like that change was more about not because I think people just expected like, oh, they're just gonna take it out. No one can anti-air jab, and I'm like, I don't think that was really the point. The point was like, yeah, you
Yeah,
can do it. It's just that the characters that were really good at doing that and having sort of like I guess an advantage or a potential like mix up off of it. I think that was supposed
Yeah.
to be the point of the change, right? Because like
Yeah, that was because that was too much actually. When you
yeah,
get like the side switch,
yep,
then it got the reward was a little too heavy. But the jab itself is just a jab.
right.
If you don't get any mix up after, then it is good, but it's not overpowered.
Whenever I play Nikali's and Alex players, I'm like, man, Alex's jab goes like all the way around him. It's like an umbrella. It covers his backside too, and I hate it.
Yeah,
I play Ryu, so of course Ryu got like you know stuffed into bottom. Like some people are like he's bottom 10 or whatever now. And I'm just like,
oh
well,
yeah,
he has to work a lot harder.
yeah. He's not good, or like he got hit hard
Yeah.
for no reason almost.
I mean,
He
I
was,
understand like
yeah,
the damage scaling. I get that a little bit, but it's like he was the character that had all of those tools that they wanted to change,
yeah,
and it's just like, man, like you basically took everything away from that character. That's what made him good. So, whereas
yeah,
other characters like like Nikali, I think again is a pretty good example of a character like yeah, the meterless, invincible meterless reversals and the anti-air jab thing that changes maybe how your approach is with that character, but he's still a very good character. Whereas Ryu is like,
for sure.
yeah, not so much.
Oh
uh,
yeah, you see Daigo struggling online a lot, so
I know, and he
it's
was
not
like he
not
was
easy.
playing Guile, but then he said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with Ryu because, like, dude, Daigo,
Yeah, yeah,
man, this is 2017. This is 21st century, man. This is esports.
yeah.
Like, you got to be able to, you know what? Forget character loyalty."
Oh yeah, like, but he wants to do what he wants to do, so
Yeah, I get it. Well, I tell Cien the same thing. I'm like, man, you gotta please just pick a different character, and he won't
yeah,
do it. But I understand why he wants to, he wants to do it his way. He wants it to be his character, right?
yeah.
What motivates you to keep playing if you don't necessarily like the game that much?
I mean, mostly it's always the competition
Mm-hmm.
that's really the key driving point.
Mm-hmm.
And just as important
Mm-hmm.
is I think the cash prizes are worth it
Yeah.
for me at least. Especially this year, I've earned a decent amount
Right.
of money, and I'm fortunate enough to like have a sponsor that covers expenses.
How long have you
For
been
me, I
with
was
them?
thinking I've been with since 2014.
Wow.
I've
Okay.
been with PX3.
Yeah.
Because of that, I was thinking like I'm good enough to do well, and I have backing,
Mm-hmm.
so kind of made sense for me to try it out
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
just go and go make some cash basically.
Right. If you're talented enough.
It's really hard to practice because I usually just play online and
Right.
it's hard. It's easy to get bored.
Yeah.
Bored.
When you're in, and I see this with I think some other players in different parts of Europe, like Ryan Hart in Germany now, where if your scene's not as strong, whether it's online or offline, it's really hard to get that practice in. It almost seems like you have to travel just to be able to
Yeah,
get that high level play in.
yeah, for sure. There are a lot of matchups in European online that you cannot find like high level practice.
Hmm.
So you
Hmm.
have to like for me, I have to watch a lot of videos and then theory craft and then
Right.
theory craft some more and then watch videos and then kind of experiment on lower level players of like X character or whatever.
Right.
Like Balrog, for example, we don't really have any Balrogs in Europe. Yeah, that's basically how I gotta do it for some matchups. That's like the way you have to practice if you're limited in your environment.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to ask you related to like if you didn't like the game enough, would you just not play it?
If I really like at the moment, I don't like the game,
Hmm.
but the CPT is kind of like there's a lot of things to earn there.
Yeah.
So it kind of that's a big motivating factor. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say if Capcom Pro Tour like disappeared or like it got shut down or
Right.
whatever, then
Right.
I probably wouldn't it wouldn't be worth it for me to keep playing the
Right.
game at all.
What would you
unless
do?
some other. No, oh, if I probably there are some things I know for sure I would do,
Okay.
but like don't want to say.
I think for you, there's probably enough interest in fighting games in general that you would probably still play them regardless.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like back then, that was a long time ago.
Right.
It was from a casual standpoint,
Totally. Right. Yeah.
fighting games were
Yeah.
was fun. But like once you get in, this is solely from competitive standpoint. Once like after many years of Street Fighter 4, towards the end of Street Fighter 4, I even got burned out of that game
Yeah.
as well. Like I didn't really like that game either, and I
Yeah.
couldn't. I had high expectations for Street Fighter 5. I couldn't wait for Street Fighter 5, and then Street Fighter 5 just just
Go ahead,
ruined
say it.
all
You
my
can say
expectations.
it.
Just yeah, it was so like I was so disappointed. So and I was like, oh my God. And then like I did well all the year and all that,
Yeah.
but that was solely from the motivation of tournament
Right.
play. I would never play this game if I was a casual or like from a casual standpoint. I would. There's no way I would play
Right.
Street Fighter 5 or actually not any fighting game because I'm at this level right now. If I have to play a fighting game, it has to be competitive.
Yeah.
So probably there's very few fighting games I would play.
I know you said that you don't still don't care for season two as much, but do you
Yeah.
think it is an improvement over season one? Like how much of an improvement or not do you think it is?
I mean, the thing is, they are focusing a lot on like character balance.
Mm-hmm.
There is not as much like system like mechanic changes or
Mm-hmm.
system changes. There is just different, but it's still terrible.
You know what? I
Yeah.
absolutely love that quote. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna use that someday.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
the same shit, but a
Yeah,
different toilet. I love it.
yeah.
um,
So it's still not good.
yeah,
Like at its the core gameplay is still bad in my opinion. But they just made some characters that were weaker in the previous season. They made them stronger, and they made some of the stronger characters weaker, and like it's
yeah.
just balancing already bad game. So
I remember like before Street Fighter Five came out, actually even maybe a little bit after, everyone was like, "Okay, there's still something like missing. I think they're still gonna like reveal the like the one like gameplay mechanic or the one thing that's missing in this game, right?" And of course, it never happened.
yeah,
Um,
never happened. In fact, they removed the mechanic. They removed the fucking the like invincible DPs, which
yeah,
has been in the like every Street Fighter game for
yeah.
the last 30 years or something.
Hmm.
So they didn't add anything new. They just just removed something. It was like the
That's
total opposite.
that decision still baffles me because I don't know if it's fair to say that was like all on Woshige. But like when I talked to him, he was like, "Yeah, I didn't like that, and I wanted to take it out for Street Fighter Five." And I'm just like,
Oh my.
I mean, like, is
Uh,
it only you? I mean, did anyone else like at
I don't know.
Capcom like did,
Are you sure he didn't have a gun to his head while you were?
when I talked to him, I'd never spoken with him before. I'd never met him
Yeah.
before. The only thing I knew about Washiga, to be honest with you, the only thing I knew about him was, of course, at Evo
Yeah.
when he stood up, right? And we brought out a guy at Capcom Cup. We brought out a guy to translate for us, and he actually got an interview with us with Washiga. So it's the first time I ever spoke to him, and he actually said this is the first time he ever did an interview like on camera. He did great. And it was a great interview. But I just remember him talking about, like, yeah, we want to take out meterless reversal, invincible meterless reversal. So I'm like, damn, man, like that's been since 1991.
Yeah, that's a core aspect of like that's a main aspect of Street Fighter and
Like you just neutered Ken and Ryu
yeah.
going back 30 years. Anyways,
Yeah.
it's funny. If you had a rematch with Daigo right now, how do you think it would go?
Ha. Huh. If I play him again now, especially with Ryu being nerfed,
Don't even say it.
then
Don't even say it.
I don't like his chances.
Oh man, he's gonna have to break out Guile.
Yeah, I like my chances more against him. So,
All right.
so
Well,
yeah,
all right. We'll leave it on we'll leave on that note on you saying
yeah,
you like your chances against Saigo. No, Phenom, it's really great talking to you. I know we haven't spoken in a long time, and again,
yeah.
I kind of apologize that it has to be on such weird terms with our president.
Oh, no
I'm
problem.
sorry we voted a reality TV star into the White House. But again, I hope everything gets sorted out. I hope you end up being okay to travel everywhere. For me, it's kind of cool to see some of you younger guys doing as well as you are at your age, because I
Thanks.
think it shows, fighting games, like, I don't know, as esports, whatever you want to call it, like it really, it's not just about, like, I guess, veterans or the Daigos and Tokitos, right?
Yeah.
So I really hope everything works out for you, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you sometime soon this year.
Yeah, hopefully if they let me in, then we'll see.
If they
See.
don't let you in, we will have to organize FGC protests, because the FGC is going to have to stand up. If we can't get our fighting game players into the country because of this, then I think we need to
Yeah.
we need to stand up and speak up too.
You think Capcom, like, if that happened, that they would actually move Capcom Cup to Europe? That would be pretty cool. But I doubt that would happen.
Move the whole move cap.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
move the whole thing,
uh,
or move it to Canada or something. I don't know.
I could see Canada being more likely. I know
Yeah,
people talk about, like someone. I remember someone tweeted the idea of, like, oh, they could just move Capcom Cup to, like, because of the timing of it, like they could just make it Evo Japan, right? They could, but Sony is so heavily invested in Street Fighter and Capcom Pro Tour, and because it is more of, like, a Western, like, United States,
yeah,
all of that is really heavily invested in, like, the United States side of, like, Capcom US, right? That
yeah,
I don't know that they would do that. So, but I would totally love the idea if this immigration ban or these politics continue the way they are, that Capcom would take a stand and say, all right, you know what? Since you're gonna do this, we're gonna we're gonna move it somewhere else, or whatever.
yeah,
I don't know if they do that.
yeah.
They
I
can't
doubt they will do
they
it,
they
but
they can't even get on the same page about their own game.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's so
Uh,
true.
all right, man. I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's also late there. It's great talking to you again. And again, I hope we get to see you traveling to the U.S. a lot this year. So good luck with 2017, and I'll talk to you
Thank
soon.
you so much.